Sometimes that is better.
Ooh is saying if Stu comes back, he should still have the TV on his head and be able to control electricity. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just had someone pop into the back room here to talk a little bit about Stu possibly coming back and having a TV on his head, controlling electricity like he's fucking Magneto or some shit. Craven, something scary. What's up, man? How you doing?
Dude, I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can.
Good to see you, man.
It's good to see you, dude. We don't get to do this too often anymore, you know?
I'm telling you, man, I miss it, dude. Seriously. It just worked out that I have a little bit of a time window open, and I'm like, I got to jump in. That's why I jumped on the stream. I'm like, I got to jump in and see what's going on. And here we are, dude. The strike is over.
Yeah, dude. Do you think we're going to get some Scream 7 news soon?
I do. I think all the powers that be are frantically working behind the scenes to get actors signed and contracts negotiated and locations. Well, I think the locations might already have been secured, but I really do. I think it was a good chance we're going back to Montreal, but we'll see. But yeah, man, I think so. I really do. I think over the next 6 weeks, I think we're going to know if Nev's coming back. Just a secret I'm going to share with you. We'll get the announcement of these guys, the core four, all that stuff.
Yeah, I think it was a viewer Anon who said something today about it like starting like early spring or something. So it's like, oh, that's okay. That's exciting. That's right. Bit of an update.
Yeah, man. And think about it. If you begin filming in March, that movie, you have 4 months for post-production. You do 2 months of filming. That movie can still come out next year. I think it's still happening, man. I think, October may be aggressive, but I think November, December is doable.
There's a lot of rumor with it being a holiday movie too, and potentially taking place in like New York during the snow. Like that, that could work. That would make sense. I could get into it personally. The first Scream was released in what was it, like December 20th of its respective year. So,
and Scream 2 was released December 12th. I mean, there's 2 December releases, and back then they did 160, which now would be way more. A lot more money now. The rumor is it's a Christmas setting. It's not a Christmas movie like It's a Wonderful Knife, but it's a Christmas setting. And if that's the case, it's perfect timing. I mean, let's do it.
Do you think that Stu's going to come back with a TV on his head and be able to control electricity?
That's interesting because, much like Wes Craven's Horace Pinker and Shocker, he could control stuff without even being in the television. So the real question is, can Stu Macher manipulate electricity in a room?
I couldn't believe you were really rolling with that for a second. Sorry, I can't get over that.
I'm inspired by Horace, man, from Shocker. What can I say? Yeah, I think there's a real decent chance, man. With Nev coming back, I know it's not official. It's coming. Trust me. And the announcement will be made. And that, to me, and I think you even asked me this in the Lethal Collective, and I never got around to answering the question Monday when you asked it, or whenever we met last. I think it does improve the odds that Stu comes back with Nev in the movie.
You know my thoughts on Stu and all that, but what I will say is like him coming back, is it a possibility? Yes, like it totally is, because it would bring people to the theater. It would make money, bring people to the theaters, and the studios would fucking love that because they love money. So, yeah, like I'm not out here saying, oh, it's not gonna happen. I just don't think it should. That's my opinion. That's all good though. Him, like Stu versus Sydney, I could see that being a storyline though. Like that's something that the studio I feel like would entertain. Maybe why they had a different choice in director and stuff. That's I'm sure that's probably what your theory right now.
Certainly be. All I know is when I talked to Christopher Landon backstage on StreamYard when we were offline, I said, look, man, I know you can't answer this. I'm not even looking for an answer for this. I said, but if there's a way you could bring Stu Macher back in Scream 7, I see you make a lot of people happy, including the conductor of the Stu train, myself right here. And he laughed. And then he went on to reveal that he's real good friends with Matthew Lillard and that they just did a charity event a month prior to that. Look, man, it doesn't hurt to have a relationship with, to have friendship with somebody that already gives you a different dynamic than not knowing someone. So who knows, Jake? I'm just saying, dude. Anything's possible, man.
I think the most fun part about moving into Scream 7 is the possibilities really are endless. Like I have no idea what to expect from this next movie, down to the point where I even made a whole video today talking about like will Sydney be the focus? Like, that's totally possible. Or will it be the core four again? Like, both are viable options right now. And I think that's so interesting with the way that they were able to write 5 and 6, having definite endings, and then just being able to do whatever you want for the next movie. The problem with the new Halloween franchise, for instance, is like they kind of roped themselves into this like big overall story that just feels like something they didn't want to tell by the time they got to the third one. So I'm glad they just decided to be like, here's a story, here's another one, and here's whatever the third one's going to be. I like that.
It's wide open, and we're going to have so much fun over the next year, 12 to 16 months, whatever it ends up being, Jake, because there's going to be so many scenarios we're going to run through and theories and possible lanes that Christopher could drive down, like you just said. And not to mention, man, when we start getting cast announcements, if Jessica Roth is signed, is she the opening kill? Is she Ghostface? Is she going to be a cast member? Like, where's she going to be? Or whoever, the new names we start seeing signed. Yeah. That's going to be great. I put a poll up just the other day about who would you like to see as an opening kill? Jessica Roth, Justin Long, Mia Goth.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, man. It was like an all-star force, 4 all-stars. And I'm all about Mark Kincaid, man. I did a video a couple days ago on Kincaid. I gave like 4 scenarios how he could return. And I think he's coming back, dude. I think him and Sydney are both in this movie.
My video today was all about, we keep talking about our videos. I don't even care. Shameless plug. Watch all of these videos we're talking about.
Absolutely.
On Twitter and stuff, people have been saying like, oh, we're getting an announcement soon about someone, coming back and shit. That's been something going around. Come on, it's Sydney. Of course it is. But with that, like, I just feel like this has been set up since Scream 5 to tell this story. Like the whole thing about like her family and all that. If Scream 5 is like Dewey's movie, focusing on him, like being this, retired cop who's living in a trailer park now, and then what ends up happening to him. Scream 6 is all about Gail Weathers in New York City, kind of. And then 7 could be all about like Sidney Prescott, like with her family. These are things that have been set up since 5. It would be a cool way to flesh out a trilogy, kind of in a weird way, focusing on each character in each movie. That was a point I brought up in today's video, and I just thought that would be a really interesting new idea for like for a trilogy in this franchise. I love it. I'm all about it. I'm totally down for it. And we don't have to tell a core 4 story this next time. Like that's the thing. We're not tethered to anything with Scream. We can really do whatever we want, and that's the best way to approach a horror franchise, I think.
I'm also excited because I think Christopher, if the core 4 is involved, he's not going to be afraid to kill somebody to eliminate some of these people. Whereas, it's like, I think Radio Silence, it was their darlings. And I think that Christopher's going to come in and be like, okay, like he said, there will be blood. There will be blood. I think that there's going to be a high body count. And I think we lose. I think we lose 2 of the 4.
I'm fine with that. Listen, I really do love all of these characters, but like to me, it's like you can't have 9 people that aren't Ghostface in a Scream movie. You know what I mean? Like that how is that going to work? It doesn't make any sense.
It's not. I mean, think about this. In Scream 6, we had the most Ghostfaces ever in a Scream movie, and we had the most survivors of any Scream movie. Jake, that math doesn't add up.
100%, man. And like, I don't know. Danny staying alive, the entire core 4. It's just like, what? Like,
no,
I couldn't believe it, man. By the time we got to the end, I really love a lot of that movie, but I just feel like it lost its brutal edge by the time you got to the back half.
And the brutal edge that it did try to gain back, a la Chad, it robbed you of that because he lived. It's like, really,
all you had to do there is just make that kill Danny, and then it's like this epic final kill from Ghostface before they get revealed. All you had to, like, a simple change like that. Maybe Chad gets stabbed in the stomach once, and then like he's out for the third act. That's all you had to do. You still get the awesome kill. You can have your cake and eat it too, whatever. But then it's not this ridiculous reveal at the end of the film. It doesn't bug me that much because they did it with Dewey and like Scream 2 and pretty much every movie that Dewey's in, he's a pincushion. But it's still just like.
But look, 1 or 2 stab wounds to 17. Jay, come. It's a little different, dude. Just a little.
I mean, I don't know. Like, man, Dewey should have died many times before 5, though. Like, that's my thing. I do agree. It's ridiculous in Scream 6. It's like, dude, this man gets every organ in his body stabbed, and he lives. He's a machine.
Dewey was stabbed 9 times in the first 4 movies. Chad was stabbed 24 times in the course of 1 year. I'm just saying, bro. Come on.